Good afternoon, I'm William Galloway in for Gary Harris. Alabama Gymnastics was back in action today hosting the NCAA Regional Championships. The Tide competed in Session 1 alongside Arkansas, Iowa, and Iowa State this afternoon in Coleman Coliseum. Alabama began on the balance beam before rotating to the floor exercise, followed by the vault, and then they finished on the uneven bars. In the top middle box on your screen, Luisa Blanco scored a perfect 10 on the beam, and she closed out the first rotation for the Crimson Tide. And you'll see later on the bottom of your screen that Blanco recorded a team-high 9.925 on the floor exercise. Blanco was getting it done today for Alabama. The Crimson Tide advanced to Saturday after recording a 197.525 and a first-place finish at this afternoon session. Blanco was delighted, she said, with her perfect 10 today.
I knew it because before I went on the beam, we've been talking about poise and confidence, and that's what makes us competitively great. And I think I finally put all the pieces together, and when I stuck that landing, I was like, yeah, I got it.
Alabama football held its first scrimmage and is holding it this afternoon inside Bryant-Denny Stadium. It marks practice number 8 for the Tide on its spring schedule. The offense this year will look different without the likes of Mac Jones, Najee Harris, Devontae Smith, and others, and that's obvious to Alabama fans. John Mechie will be back for his junior year, but Coach Saban said earlier this week that Mechie isn't practicing this spring, so others are going to have to step up at the wide receiver position. Redshirt junior Slade Bolden says he wants to use today's scrimmage as an opportunity for growth for the receiving corps as a whole.
I think it's every scrimmage is important. The first one being the first time we get to see everybody in real live action. I think it's going to be good for us as a unit since we had some guys leave, we got some new guys. I think just going out there, performing to our best ability, just making ourselves better and the defense better. Just coming, making the team better is kind of the ultimate goal right now.
Auburn freshman guard Sharif Cooper announced today his plans to enter the 2021 NBA draft and hire an agent, meaning he will not come back. Cooper was named to the SEC All-Freshman team this year and averaged 20.2 points, 8.1 assists, and 4.3 rebounds in just 12 games with the Tigers. Bleacher Report's latest mock draft have Cooper projected to be selected in the late first round. I'll have more details from Alabama scrimmage and video from Alabama scrimmage inside Bryant-Denny Stadium. That's coming up at 6. That'll do it for sports at 5. Stay with us. We'll be right back after this. Good evening, I'm William Galloway. Alabama baseball just began its weekend series against Tennessee here in Tuscaloosa. It's another critical series for Brad Bohannon and his team. Coach spoke earlier this week about what the Vols bring to the table against the Crimson Tide and what Alabama needs to do this weekend in order to be successful.
Tennessee doesn't give you anything. You have to go earn it. You have to go take it. They're not going to hit you. They're not going to walk you. They're going to play catch in the infield. We're going to have to get some big hits, some 2-out RBIs, and we're going to have to make pitches to get them out. Be another really, really good challenge for us.
Alabama Gymnastics was back in action today hosting the NCAA Regional Championships. The Tide competed in Session 1 this afternoon alongside Arkansas, Iowa, and Iowa State in Coleman Coliseum. Alabama began on the balance beam before rotating to the floor exercise, followed by the vault, and finished on the uneven bars. In the top middle box on your screen, you see Luisa Blanco scored a perfect 10 on the beam to close out the first rotation for the Tide. Now on the bottom of your screen, you see Blanco again. It's a 9.925 on the floor exercise, and Alabama advances to Saturday after recording a 197.525 and a first-place finish at this afternoon session. Blanco spoke with the media afterwards, and she was delighted with her perfect 10.
I knew it because before I went on the beam, we've been talking about poise and confidence, and that's what makes us competitively great. And I think I finally put all the pieces together, and when I stuck that landing, I was like, yeah, I got it.
Alabama football held its first scrimmage today in Bryant-Denny Stadium. That's Coach Saban and his Mercedes zooming down in front of the statues. Did he speed? That's up to you. Well, the players come off the bus. Christian Harris gets the guys warmed up, and they are ready to go. Check out this shovel pass from Bryce Young to Xavier Williams. The opportunity to put on pads today and have a spring scrimmage is something sophomore linebacker Will Anderson doesn't take lightly. He didn't have this opportunity last year, of course, due to COVID-19, and while he wants to learn, Anderson says he also wants to have a little fun in these scrimmages.
We just want to accomplish seeing what this team is going to be like this year. You know, just going out there, getting better, competing, having fun, playing with your brothers. You know, I think that's the ultimate goal, having fun with your brothers. So this year, this scrimmage, we're just going to take it a play at a time and look at the little details and see the things we need to work on so we can get ready for the fall.
Last night in Indianapolis, Alabama's Jasmine Walker participated in the Rocket Mortgage Women's Three-Point Championship. The event was held in historic Hinkle Fieldhouse. Unfortunately, Walker struggled last night, scoring just 12 first-round points. She did not advance to the second round. Montana State's Tori Martell won the event. She had an impressive score of 22 in the final round. Tonight at 10, I'll have Alabama baseball and softball highlights for you. Stay with us. That's it for sports at 6. We'll be right back after this. Good evening, everyone. I'm William Galloway in for Gary Harris. Alabama football geared up for its first spring scrimmage this afternoon in Bryant-Denny Stadium. John Mechie, Trey Sanders, and Emil Ekiyor were all out, but there were a lot of takeaways for the Crimson Tide. We're still 155 days away from the season opener versus Miami, so there are no big conclusions to be drawn from a single scrimmage in the month of early April today, but Nick Saban did make note of a couple things. He said afterwards that he used today as a measuring tool of evaluation to see where everyone is. He added that Bryce Young did a really good job managing the game today and was able to make a few explosive plays. He said there's a lot of inexperience on the offensive line because Evan Neal is the only starter coming back. But overall, Coach Saban said the players are just learning so much each and every day. So it's good for them to get out there and get the opportunity to be able to apply what they've learned so far in spring practice.
I see a lot of good potential that we need to work on and improve. And, you know, we put a lot of stuff in probably for, you know, the first 4 or 5 days, and that's a lot for a young player to digest. So when we eliminate the mental errors, I think we'll see a lot more consistent execution out there on both sides of the ball.
Alabama softball hosted Texas A&M for Game 2 of the series this weekend. In the second inning, Bama down 2-1. Alexis Mack brings in Kayla Davis and Maddie Morgan. That puts the Tide up 3-2 ahead of the Aggies. Still in the second, this time Bailey Hemphill brings around Alexis Mack. Bama goes up 4-2. Let's go to the sixth inning. Montana Fouts gives up a solo shot here. That's Shaylee Ackerman for Texas A&M. And the Aggies try to make a comeback. They fall short, and the Crimson Tide pick up the win in Game 2 of the series, 8-6 today. On the other diamond, Alabama baseball hosting Tennessee. This was the first game of the weekend series. Drew Williamson is hit by a pitch. That brings in Sam Prater right there for the Crimson Tide's first run. That's Jim Jarvis bringing around William Hameter for the Crimson Tide. Hameter is back, and Alabama trailed 4-2. And how about Big Sam Prater going yard? That was Alabama's first home run of the night. The Crimson Tide go up 5-4 after the bomb from Prater, and Bama goes on to win it 7-4 over Tennessee. Game 2 is tomorrow. First pitch is at 6 p.m. on the SEC Network. Alabama Gymnastics scored a 197.525 this afternoon to win Session 1 of the NCAA Regional here in Tuscaloosa and secure a spot in Saturday's regional final. That'll take place tomorrow. Luisa Blanco scored a perfect 10 on the balance beam, then Makari Doggett posted a 10 on the uneven bars. This marks the first time since 2005 that Alabama has had 2 10s in the same meet. The regional finals will take place tomorrow, as I mentioned. Start time is at 7 p.m. in Coleman Coliseum. And tonight it was senior night for the Alabama men's tennis team. The Tide honored its 10 seniors before the match versus Mississippi State. Even Big Al got to get in on some of the action. The Crimson Tide won the match 5-2 over the Bulldogs, and Bama improves to 12-8 on the year. Bama hits the road on Sunday. They'll face Ole Miss in Oxford. And tonight at Tuscaloosa County High School, the softball team hosted Ginger Beasley Night. Beasley is an elementary school teacher, and she was recently diagnosed with appendix cancer. Beasley will undergo treatment at a cancer clinic in Texas, and 100% of the proceeds from ticket sales from tonight's softball game will help pay for the family's travel expenses. Tuscaloosa County High School is also selling T-shirts to raise money for the Beasley family. The hashtag Beasley's Battle. Shirts can be purchased online by using the link you see here at the bottom of your screen. Join me all weekend long at 10 p.m. for your weekend sportscast. Baseball, softball, gymnastics, Final Four, lots to discuss right here on WVUA 23. That's it for sports this evening. We'll be right back. Stay with us.